everybody doing?
Doing good.
I'm doing good myself. So today I'm going to be talking a little bit about what really goes on when there is a vehicle accident or a vehicle fire and how the fire department approaches that situation. So I'm sure most of you have driven by a vehicle accident or a fire and have just kind of driven by it and not really wondered what's happening, but obviously you're pretty aware of the situation.
Yeah.
But today I'm going to be talking about what really goes on and what they're doing. So I've been a cadet in the San Diego Fire Department program for about a year and a half now, and with that and studying in school, I've learned a little bit more about what really happens on those calls and the procedures and measures that are taken. So, first I'm going to be talking about the different protective gear that the firefighters wear when responding to these incidents and what situations they might wear certain equipment in. And then I'm also going to talk about the different tools they use for the extrication on these vehicles, and also what medical gear they might use before the ambulance gets there. So first I want to go over what is PPE. That stands for personal protective equipment. That consists of a helmet, jacket, pants, gloves, and boots. And each one of those pieces of equipment has their own specific purpose to protecting the firemen. So this equipment overall, without going too much in detail, protects them from sharp metals, gas, fluids, or other like sharp objects like glass in the incident. Something I didn't say was the SCBA, which is a breathing apparatus. That helps when there's like vapors or smokes, toxic gases that would harm or damage the lungs of firefighters, and help them breathe better, so they're not breathing all that in.
Cool.
The first thing I wanted to say is that NFPA 1971, they state that this is actually when the protective gear originated, and they stated that it is heat and impact resistant. Like I said, the SCBA is also helps with the smoke and gases. So let's jump into what tools they might use for these accidents. The most important tool is Jaws of Life, or the AMCUS. So this tool basically helps to pry or ram the car or whatever they might need to do. It has a lot of power behind it, and it can be hydraulic or electric powered. So in case they might need to like cut the door open or maybe just like push the car out of the way on its side or something, they would use that. So or just remove the entire roof completely to pull the patient out. So according to FEMA, before even using this tool, you need to stabilize the vehicle in case, depending on the situation, but usually the firefighters will put some chocks under and then a set of airbags so they can help stabilize the car so it doesn't move out of the way or hurt the patient more when, by rolling over or something like that. These tools allow the firefighters to reach the victim and when they're in trouble in that situation. So next let's jump into some of the medical tools that they might use to treat the patients. So the first thing they might use is the trauma bag. This helps with bleeding control, oxygen, any airway tools or something like that. Anything that might be like trauma to the person, they might use that just to stabilize the patient before the ambulance gets there to take them to the hospital. Also, according to NHTSA, it helps with fast bleeding control, which can help the patient survive, especially if they're in a critical state. It might help them like stabilize better before getting to the hospital, so they have a better chance of surviving if they're unconscious or anything like that. Another thing found on the fire engine is a backboard or the cervical collar or even an AED. So the backboard is pretty much it's in kind of like a green bag on the fire truck, and it basically helps them to kind of slide it behind the patient, and then it would obviously once you get like the seatbelt off and all that, then you can kind of like strap them in sort of, and then like pull them out without having them move or anything like that. And then the cervical collar kind of is the same thing, so their neck doesn't move. They have neck trauma. And then AEDs if they're unconscious. I'm sure you know as an EMT, so yeah. So now that I explained what PPE is, personal protective equipment, this helps the firefighter protect themselves in this situation, so they're not harmed, and there's just a bigger concern for safety in these situations. I've seen a lot of times where the vehicle even like explode, and if they don't have the right equipment on, they can cause critical damage to them as well. And then I also explained the tools that they might use. So there's a bunch of different set of tools that they might use to cut open the car, get glass out of the way, anything like that, just to make the job easier. And of course the medical gear to help attend to the person before getting extra care at the hospitals. So what I want you guys to take away from this is next time you see an accident, I hope you guys know what will be going on, or if the fire department is there, you'll know what they might be doing, or just have a little bit more insight in their situation and what might be going on. And yeah, just be curious.
Awesome.
Yeah, thanks guys.